Well, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name is Ken Close. I am a Healy World member, like most of all you guys, engineer and pioneer of the technology and lover of Healy, of course. Guess what? Always wearing it. And I am joined by our awesome head of ops, Jake Barron. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing amazing. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good everything.
Good everything. Good on you wherever you are. All
Yeah.
right. And we always have a assistant from the tech support. Who's joining us tonight, Jake?
Um, uh, Christian, I believe, is here. Hold on a second. Yes, Christian's here tonight.
Excellent. Hi, Christian. Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. So, guys, if you guys are brand new to Tech Tip Tuesday, well, first of all, welcome and thanks for being here. We love being able to support you guys. If you've been here before, you know how it works, and but we'll go over it again anyway. So Tech Tip Tuesday is a chat forum. Myself and Jake and Christian in the background, we will take your questions from the chat. We'll bring them live onto the call. We'll unpack them. We'll dissect them. We'll assist you in them. We'll do all things question to give you guys the most complete answer to whatever it is you want to know. What we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, prevent, or talk about diseases. There's great resources that Healy has created an amazing database to help you guys to figure out certain things by certain keywords. But everything else, I mean, the everything from the apps, the technology, the theories, the quantum field, wherever you want to go, we'll be able to talk about it. So if that sounds fun to you, then go ahead and light up the chat, throw your questions in there, and let's get this party started. How about that? And by the way,
Sounds like the place to be on a Tuesday evening.
right? I mean, especially after some other cool Zoom stuff that was happening today. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, Stephanie did awesome.
So,
Uh,
yeah, any questions, whether it's something you think is a simple question, not worth mentioning, anything from simple troubleshooting to sort of the science behind the difference between the different methods you can use your Healy. We'll get into some of the resources that we have. Also, always love to show things related to Healy Academy and our YouTube channel as well, because there's such great content available 24/7.
Yeah, I mean the academy, everything has expanded so much. It's amazing what we've got now. So Sarah's got a question for us. My Healy using the sticky pads and wires is often at 100%, but showing that it's not conducting. What can I do? So I love this question because so let's just take a peek at what this means. Let's say that you're everybody that's on the call. If you're new, you're not familiar with your Healy just yet. But when we're using the either the wires or the sticky pads, then we're connected to the Healy and using it from the microcurrent side of the house. Okay, so microcurrent is transmitted from the Healy device as a carrier wave for very specific frequencies based on what program you're running and its purpose. Okay, great. And of course, that whole thing is operated from the Healy 2 app, or what we would officially call we affectionately call the pink app right here off my shoulder. So that app, it engages the Healy to transmit microcurrent. All right. So how do we get that into the body? It's done through the sticky pads or the wires, and they plug into the bottom side of the Healy. Now this is the Obsidian, but it all works exactly the same with either device, either hardware. The ports in the bottom, same thing. So if you're not getting now, the app itself also tells you if you are getting conduction or not, right? It tells you, it says, frequencies may be flowing, but there's no current running through the body. There's a little message that goes along the bottom of the screen. And what we would typically do, we would up the current flow if it's not actually getting through the body. It's not saying that if it's having that message, we adjust the current flow. But if you've done all that, and like Sarah said that, hey, I'm at 100%, it's still not getting any current flow. We want to make sure that all the connections are proper with the hardware. One of the things now in the wintertime, I always caution people or talk to people about what kind of lotions or things you might have on your skin. That's a big deal. Um, or even if it's not properly moisturized, in other words, using water or some kind of they have conductive gel you can put on the skin to make sure that you are getting connection between the wristband and the skin. The tension, how tight is this wristband around the body? Of course, not to where it's cutting off your circulation, but it can't be loose and floppy, right? It can't just roll around, slide around on the wrist. You're not going to get any conduction that way. If there's any questions that it be a wristband issue, you can take a cotton swab or a small piece of a paper towel, wet them, put them between the wristband and the skin, and then tension it down around that and see if that makes any difference. Hydration in the bodies, folks. Early on, that was one of the things that people that were dehydrated, you couldn't get proper conduction through the body, and that's a big deal. Proper hydration is one of the big things that Healy talks about all the time, and just a little bit dehydrated can also cause these things. There's also a test you can do to see if all of the hardware works and to see if maybe it's the body or is it the hardware, right? We've talked about that, right, Jake? That test that
Yeah, Ken, I was just going to say, because the second point that was put in here could be the key here. It says new wires, but not Healy brand. So they're not the original wires sold by Healy. Maybe got them on a different site, but it does look like the connections are solid. So as Ken mentioned, you mentioned using them with the adhesive electrodes. So I'd be very curious if you're using the cables with the wristband electrodes, are you getting conductivity? Because if you are at that point, it's most likely not the wires. Because if the wires are getting you conductivity through the wristband electrodes, but not with the adhesive electrodes, it's most likely something related to the electrodes at that point too. And you mentioned the sticky pads. Are you using the original Healy sticky pads, or are you using third-party sort of adhesive pads as well too? Because that's another variable that would need to be considered also.
So let me show you a quick little how-to. If you want to test your Healy conduction, okay, let me show you a quick little how-to. So you've got the wires plugged into the bottom of your Healy, and then you've got the other end with the snap or the button receiver part. If you take your wristbands, okay, and you plug the wires into the wristband, they're not on your body, right? They're just in free space. You got the wires connected to the wristbands. Now, if you want to test the wires and the wristbands, no matter if you got them from Healy or not, but still, you want to test to see if this works. Okay, great. So you got everybody hooked up. Go ahead and turn your app on and run a program. Doesn't matter which one, but just pick a program, crank that intensity up to at least 50%. And then what I do, you can lick your finger and you can touch it here. You can put a little bit of water on there, but moisten the wristband and then just touch them together. Okay. Touch them together. I touch them together right where the buttons are, right? Because that's conductive also on the wristband. So I touch them together and take a look at the app and see if you are getting conduction. Now that's basically eliminating what? It's eliminating you from the circuit. So if you're dehydrated, if you got some lotion on your skin or your skin's too dry, it doesn't matter. Now you're eliminating you from the circuit and you're just testing the hardware. Okay, so doing this test, now pinch them together and then see if you get that conduction. If you're not at 50%, crank it up a little bit. I guarantee you will be. You'll get conduction. Give that a test. All right. I do not recommend taking the sticky pads and sticking them together because you won't ever get them apart. Right? But
Yeah.
if you want to test the sticky pad, what I've also done in the past, you can take like a regular old household butter knife and stick the sticky pads to each side or the same side of the butter knife. The butter knife basically is like a conductive material. It's metal, right? And you're going to get a conduction between the butter knife and the two sticky pads, and they will peel off of that easily. So that's a good way you can test those things. So give those things a try, and come back and tell us what you figured out. Okay. All right. what else do we got? We got here let's see, HealAdvisor Analyzer versus Advisor Apps different. Okay, so you see in the background back here all the different apps. Now, I've got the Healy Watch app up here too, but we're gonna just not look at that one right now. But over off of my shoulder here, we've got the blue app. See that one? It says HealAdvisor Analyze, and it's going to say Analyze 2. HealAdvisor Analyze 2. And the other side over here, we just have HealAdvisor. Okay. What's the difference? The HealAdvisor Analyze 2 app is where we do all of the analysis. Okay. All the analysis that Healy can do, where it assesses whether it be with the Mag Healy or with the Healy, whether it be the aura analysis or the resonance analysis, whatever database is going to be chosen to bridge the client and the analysis. All of that's done from that what we affectionately call the blue app, but it is the HealAdvisor Analyze 2 app. That's where all of that's done. The HealAdvisor, now that guy is where we have a database that we can take a look at. We can put a keyword in there. We can see what particular programs could address whatever keyword we put in there. That's the analysis, that analysis engine, which is super cool. That's a great database. It also houses your extras, right? So extras like the animal module, the extras like the um, what's the other one?
Biogenetic phytolization, natural
There you go.
cycle. Yeah, there's a bunch of different modules that are available there, which is cool. And like as Ken was saying, you know, with the HealAdvisor app, you're not connecting to your device. It's not doing an analysis of you. It's pulling from this massive database that we have of topics related to, you know, basically the parent company Time Waiver, all that information and benefits from the last 15 years is put into this database. So when you search for a topic and it gives you that program pull, it might not mean anything to you. It might say mobility 17, or what is mobility 17? Whatever you put in, that first program group is the one that's most relevant to you. It's to that topic. It's not, again, it's not doing an analysis of you. It's saying, okay, for this topic, this program group, this group of programs would work best for that. And then as Kim mentioned, if you want to do like the actual analysis of you at this moment in time, what you need the most, that's when you use the Analyze app for as well, to do the residence analysis, or analysis, coaching analysis, those types of things.
Yeah, there's so much information. I mean, it's such a vast product. So spend a little time, just open. Well, first of all, when you go into the advisor, as Jake said, you don't need the Healy, right? You just need to be able to sync to your account.
Yeah.
And then it will be able to and again, that's a login process, which is the same login credentials that you would log into everything else. It's kind of a single sided login thing. It's same stuff, your username and password. So give it a try, jump in there and see what's in there. The HealAdvisor search module, this is the one with the wavy lines, right? We call the wavy lines there, that one. Yeah, that one's super great.
So Ken, we basically covered one of these next questions here about someone's been away for about 5 years, so welcome back. But is the HealAdvisor replace the Blue Dot app or the Analyze app? No, they use together. They're different. There's a different purpose for each. But I want to take this time just to share my screen for just a moment. And I put a link into the chat here a little bit ago. But for anyone that's new or been with Healy for a while and hasn't really been up to speed on everything going on, we have a Healy Onboarding program, which is an amazing resource. So Henry Pena, our global onboarding specialist, does an awesome job with these. These started last summer, with just one onboarding session at that time, where it was an overview of getting started with the Healy device. So focusing on the unboxing, using it with the Healy 2 app, how to run the programs, the science behind the Healy technology, the resources that we have available as well. And these are smaller, like interactive sessions. This isn't a group of 100 people. There might just be a few people in each one of these sessions, and you can ask questions along the way, and Henry will guide you through these. And these are available each day of the week. There's some sort of onboarding session going on. You see here, we have getting started for your Healy device. And we also have that one available in Spanish. I know there was some questions in the chat here about if Tech Tip Tuesday was going to be available in Spanish or have translation. As of right now, no, but we do have these onboarding sessions available in Spanish. And then we also have an onboarding session on the Analyze 2 app, and then in English and Spanish. And then the most recent one that was just added a week or two ago is the onboarding session on the HealAdvisor app, which we were just talking about, how to use the search module, how to create an IMF schedule, what does, the natural cycle, bioenergetic vitalization, all those types of things. So there's an onboarding session for that too. So you just click on one of these, it'll pull up a calendar that shows the dates and times that these are being, that are available. And then you pick it, it's very easy. You put in your name, email, phone number. It sends you an email reminder. It sends you a text message reminder before your session as well. And so feel free to attend one or all of them as well, and share it with anybody on your team that maybe is looking to get back up to speed with anything related to Healy World. And then also all of these, it's best to join these live because then you get the benefit of being able to ask questions and it's more interactive. But if there is one that you just wanted to take a look at, okay, what are these onboarding sessions like? If you go to our Healy World Learning Hub, so if you just go to HealyLearningHub.com, it takes you right to this page within YouTube at Healy World Learning Hub. But if you go to the playlist section, there's a Healy Onboarding playlist, and then you'll see here we have one with the Analyze app in English and Spanish, the basic onboarding of the Healy app in English and Spanish, and then we also have the newest one, the HealAdvisor app. So you can watch the recording, available 24/7, which is super convenient. But again, also if you have the time, I think it's worth it to attend one of the live sessions as well, because Henry does such a great job with these.
I agree.
Also, for those of you that haven't been following Tech Tip Tuesday recently, on the same YouTube channel, there's a massive playlist for Tech Tip Tuesdays at this point. And where are we here? Tech Tip Tuesday, view full playlist. And you'll see here we have 144 Tech Tip Tuesdays listed here, but these are very cool. So it's super easy to go back and review. Say you couldn't join live and you want to check the next day. What did Ken and Jake and sometimes Henry cover on Tech Tip Tuesday? If you just click on, this is the most recent one from last week. And let's see. Hey, welcome everyone. I'm just going to pause this here, but you'll see we have all the different prior Tech Tip Tuesdays, and then this is the magic here is in the description. So it doesn't look like much, but when you click more, okay, well, all right. So now every single topic that we discuss on these Tech Tip Tuesday calls, we timestamp so they're easy to go back and reference. So say you couldn't join live, and the next day you're like, oh, okay, maybe I don't have an hour to sit through the whole Tech Tip Tuesdays, even though you're not wasting your time, right, Ken? This is great content every week. But say there's just a few things that interest you or you didn't realize, you can just go, and if you click on the timestamp, it takes you right to that particular segment. So you don't have to sort through the whole thing. Or if you watched it live and you're like, oh, I didn't remember what they said, you can easily just go back and click on that segment and it'll take you right to it. And then if you want to share that with somebody as well, if you just right click on it, copy link address, and then you can send that link, and then when somebody opens that link, it'll take them right to that particular segment as well. So, Henry, again, Henry Payne, our global onboarding specialist, he's the one that goes through these the next day and does all the time stamping. So it's a it takes a bit of time to do that, but we wanted to turn this into the best resource possible for everybody to go back and reference later, rather than just put an hour-long recording up there and you have to kind of find your way through it. So, yeah, again, we love to have everyone join live, but if you can't make it live, just know that you have the option to go back and review everything here as well.
There's so many resources. Oh my gosh, there's hours and hours of content there.
Days, weeks.
You get days, weeks. You can get lost in
Yeah.
the wave of Tech Tip Tuesday alone. Oh my gosh, Cece is saying, is there a way to locate a lost Healy? Intention. There's not really a homing beacon on this guy except for the quantum field. I have had people talk about it coming home to them, but no, I'm sorry, there's not a way that you can actually put out a signal or anything like that, Um, I do want to, let's see, there was Wendy was saying having trouble opening the Advisor app. So, if your Advisor app is, well, first of all, are you getting to the point where you see the screen where there's that raining down process looking like it's downloading something, right? And if it's just stuck there forever doing that, okay, you may need to get off your Wi-Fi and get onto maybe your cellular data network, because perhaps there's something going on with your Wi-Fi, or if you're on your cellular data network, get on a Wi-Fi. In other words, change the resource in which the data is being transmitted. Okay. Bandwidth is an issue. And if it's given that problem, then, another thing, sometimes Healy is doing some work on the server, right? And, access is limited, but that's rare anymore in terms of it stopping
Yeah,
you.
I mean, the apps are compared to, years ago when Healy first started, they're super stable these days as well, ever since everything moved over to the new platform with the Analyze 2 app and the Healy 2 app as well. But if you are having an issue, yeah, as Ken mentioned, try the different connection. And if it's also, with the HealAdvisor app, a delete and reinstall is a very easy thing to do as well there. Also, I just keep in mind if you're like in the, well, I was gonna say if you're in the middle of, say, like the natural cycle, that's gonna interrupt that process. But if you can't even open it, then there's nothing to lose.
Yeah,
That point.
exactly. I always recommend, if you're going to delete any of the apps, great, delete the app, turn your smart device off, right? And the reason for that is because then it's going to sever all of the various connections that the old app had with the different parameters in your software and in your hardware. So turn the smart device off and then back on, and then go to well, obviously you'll have to go to your app store and go to your app store and look for the app. And when you go to the app store, if you notice that that app says update, or does it say open? Because if you've already owned it, right, it's then already in your cloud. It's just going to have the open function, um, or the open word. But if it says update, that means you're probably having a difficult time with the app because there was an update that wasn't done yet. That's a possibility. But that's how you find out if that's the case, is you're always going to open it from your app store, obviously, because you've deleted the app. And just look for that word open versus update. Okay. You can always just go to the app store anyway and put in the Healy Advisor or whichever one. And when you open that from the App Store, it will probably say update there. And there's within the App Store, you can take a look at information. It'll tell you about the latest update, and it'll give you a date and what it was, designed to do. Web or app developers, kind of across the board, do that kind of stuff. So you'll see that with Healy too. Okay. And if you're still having trouble, let me know. I mean, let's see if that helped it. What's going on? Okay. What do we got here, Jake? Here's one.
Did we,
Go ahead.
did we cover, when we were talking about the HealAdvisor app, did we cover this part about if I haven't logged in and synced from the cloud in a long time, will it take a long time to download the app?
Hmm.
it in general with connections these days is pretty quick. I would say it'd be unusual for this to take a long time to load. I mean, even if you have a massive amount of clients and that kind of thing, because I guess if we're referring to the HealAdvisor app, if it's the HealAdvisor app, there's not a whole lot to sync. If we're talking about the Analyze 2 app, there is a process, but along the way, it's automatically syncing. Like back in the day, there was a manual process where you could sync, in the original Analyze app, the Blue Dot app. But every time you log in now, it automatically syncs. So if you haven't logged in in a while, there's not going to be much new to sync, I wouldn't think. So I would be surprised if it would take a long time to log in. As far as downloading the app, that's just downloading that from the App Store. That's a different part. That's just kind of either your Wi-Fi or cellular connection as far as how long that part would take. But once you're in the Analyze app, you put your login information, it sends you that 6-digit code to confirm to your email. You put that code in, and then it loads everything onto the app. But usually it's fairly quick, I would say.
So if anybody else is having trouble out there logging in to any of the apps, well, say the HealAdvisor app, let us know, because that could be a server issue. And I mean, well, let's see, right now it's really late in Germany. So if it is a server issue, they probably won't be on it for a minute. But if it's a global thing, or it's a widespread thing, it could be something going on with the server. Um, I would definitely look at that. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? Um,
Lots of requests for the Healy onboarding link. So those are all many links now in the chat. And of course, it's great to always save the chat from Tech Tip Tuesdays as well, because we do put a lot of information there as well. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, so and again, someone is saying, I think this is Claudine is saying, as Sarah says, it happens to me with the Cosmic Growth Program with the cables. It would work fine with the coil, but then apparently something going on with the cables again. That test that I just told you about. If you try that test, it's going to basically verify all of the hardware, whether it's the wires, whether it's even the port in which you plug the wires into the Healy. There's inside there are pins, small metal pins that then connect into the circuit board. And if that's damaged, if something happened to one of those pins, and when you plug the wire in, they're not making a mechanical and electrical connection. But if your coil is working, it's not a pin issue.
Mhm.
No. Now, let me tell you a little secret about, that's not really a secret, but this was happening to some of the cables in the past. Now, these are the black cables, these are the obsidian ones, but inside the cable, there's essentially a socketed metal fitting, okay? And that goes over the pin that's inside the Healy housing. Those can be damaged. They can be broken off. They could have some kind of issue, whatever. Um, if that's happening, then no matter, when you plug those wires in, and the test I told you earlier about touching the wristbands together, it would fail that. And it's really hard to see inside there to see if something's going wrong in there or not. But at least you'll know, that if it's still failing the test, there's got to be something wrong with the wires or the wristbands. Now, these wristbands don't last forever either. um, I still have my original wristbands from like over 5 years ago. They're tattered, they're worn, they still work, but a little hint, when you get brand new wristbands, they're going to feel more powerful. They do decay over time, and the connection gets worse. Um, as well, folks, if you've never cleaned your wristband before and you've had them for a year, clean them. They're funky by now, I'm telling you. And you
Yeah,
can clean the wristbands. You're not going to hurt them. We
yeah.
talk about this
The
a lot.
wristbands are black, so they don't really look dirty in most cases. But yeah, yeah,
No, but you can get like crusties on them. And so
yeah.
um you do need to clean them. And the way you clean them is just with a neutral pH, cleaner. You can use a dish soap that's neutral pH. Run them under some warm water, take a little bit of dish soap, scrub them up with your fingers. I always rub them and scrub them quite a bit, right? Rinse them off, shake them off. And actually, at that point, because they're already moistened, they're ready to put right on your body. The Velcro strips will stick whether they're moist or not. Shake off the excess water, but then put them right on. And they're going to be clean, they're going to be moistened, and they're going to be the best connection you're going to have right then. um, a good symptom to understand that they're dirty is when there's a lot of itching and scratching and feeling and that tingly feeling that's going on between the wristband and your body. That's actually the signal trying to go through dirt and funk, contamination, right? It's trying to go through, and you'll also may even get a rash around your wrist because of that, because them being dirty. So think about that. Clean them up. All right.
Yeah, I think also when we're talking about wristband, and you mentioned the cable connections too. If you only have the original pair of cables that came with your Healy device, I always get nervous if I'm traveling or whatever. Like I always bring at least one extra cable with me, especially if you're going to be away for a while and you're one of the people that can't be without their Healy device. You don't necessarily need two cables, but it all takes is one getting it caught on a door handle or something like that, and then the cable stops working, and then you can't deliver the microcurrent anymore as well. So I always like to have one on, at least one extra on hand there too. A pair, of course, is even better. Just to have them sit there, and they're going to last a long time. It's not like they're going to go bad after a year if you haven't used them or anything like that. But yeah, those are the connection cables are available on the Healy shop in the accessories section, so easy to add on a extra one, or either a single one or a pair.
So Nancy is saying it's again, so let's go into the HealAdvisor cloud won't sync. Okay, so if that's happening, there could be something with the server. I mean, we can't discount that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm able to log in. I just tried it, no problems on
okay.
my end here. So I don't know if it could be, I don't know, hard closing, restarting the phone, are options as well. But I don't know if you want to try on your side. You're way on the West Coast. I'm one on the East Coast. So we'll see.
Let me try it. I'll try
Yeah,
logging in on my end, see what's happening here. You know, I it's been pretty faithful for forever. I have had some experiences in the past early on, um, where login was just not working for some reason. And most of
mm,
the time I discovered that it was really globally and there was a lot of people having the same problem, meaning that there was some issues
yeah,
perhaps going on now. And I also did just go to the App Store to see if there was any updates to the HealAdvisor Cloud app. I don't see there isn't anything.
yeah.
So um, so that's not it.
Yeah, we got
Let's,
a couple of Healy Watch questions. So,
oh,
every once in a while we still get some questions about this. And thank you, Christian, for already putting the answer to one of these in there. But the question was, is there a way to download the Healy Watch app anymore? I recently had to purchase a new phone. So the Healy Watch, it's well, in the US, it's been over a year now that it was discontinued, pulled from the store. It hadn't really been updated in many years, and we were trying to focus on our core technologies as well. And there's something very cool coming out here that's been teased. It'll be revealed here soon in June. Not a watch, but something even more powerful as well that you're all going to love here in the near future. Awesome new product launch here at Healy World. But as far as the watch app itself, there is no longer any way to download it. For a while, it was available on Android a little bit longer than the Apple App Store, but at this point, neither one are available to download as a new or to load it. And the apps themselves actually had not been updated in over a year as well. So that was kind of one of the main reasons why it was pulled down, as because it was no longer stable at that point. So
Yeah. Well, here's another question about the watch. If is there any effect when a watch program comes up to run it when you don't have the watch app? So yeah, so if a program request comes up, it's obviously coming up from the HealAdvisor analyzer, right? So in other words, you're doing a like an all Healy app search, and it's coming up with a program that maybe you don't have or isn't available anymore, but the frequencies of that program are still in that database. So go ahead and vibrate those into your field, into the client's field, if it's you or if it's a client. Vibrate those. You're still going to get the frequencies from that application, from that program. Okay. So still works. All right. Okay. So I just tried to do my HealAdvisor and it did not sync.
so yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if Christian, maybe you can put a note in there for the our global tech group, just to see if maybe there's something going on that way. And first thing in the morning Germany time, they can take a look to see if there's any other reports.
Yeah, Judy is saying that I'm having trouble with the HealAdvisor app as well. So, so yeah, when we have more than one person mine wouldn't sync either.
Yeah.
So we may have something going on with the server. And
Thank you for
sometimes,
reporting. Thank you for reporting all these. Sometimes it's a one-off, and other times it's something more. But usually this is a very short-term thing here. So
yeah, so Judy says it stays on the coming down page. Yep, mine did too. And then I actually got the message saying that there's a problem, sync later.
hmm.
So, so I did get that. And so again, I mean, I follow our advice. So in other words, deleting the app, putting it back in, turning the smart device off and back on. I will actually do that, but not right this second. Just so I can see if that's what's going on. Okay. So Dara's got one, says that for me, connecting to the Bluetooth takes long. So, just it doesn't normally. It doesn't take very long usually when you you turn your Healy on, you open the app, you connect via one of the apps. One of the things that to make sure you guys remember that Healy will only connect to one app at a time. So let's say that you've got both your Healy apps open. It's only going to be connected to one. When it does sync to one of them, you can't connect it to the other. I also advise people to turn off all of the other apps in the background. So when I say turn off, that means hard close. And if you don't know what hard close means, you can go to YouTube and you say hard close an app on a blank model, whatever, Android, iPhone, whatever. And there's instructions there. Somebody's done a video for you. So you want to be able to hard close it. I recommend hard closing all the apps in the background because Healy does like the resources of your smartphone, resources meaning the CPU and all of its functions. And if for some reason you've got, say, a lot of apps and files and photos and videos and all that kind of stuff on your phone, and your phone is low in memory resources, you can also experience some slow functions with the apps and the connections. So take a look. I recommend that you have at least 25% of your memory resources still available on your smartphone, and there's ways you can go in and take a look at what that is. If you don't know what that is, again, YouTube, there's going to be an expert telling you how to do that with your device. the other thing, remember that Bluetooth on the Healy is what's called BLE. It's called Bluetooth Low Energy. So it doesn't transmit a lot of power. And this is the key thing that's important when we're looking at certain frequency transmissions. People don't like Bluetooth, right? Because of it being a 2.4 gigahertz signal. And there's concerns about its effect on biology. But Healy is a Bluetooth low energy. In other words, it's the lowest amount of power it can put out and still transmit a signal. And if you'll notice that there's a very short range. In other words, I think it's 32 feet of line of sight. So if you just cover your Healy like this, when you are connected and you'll see the Bluetooth signal on your app, you just cover your Healy like this and you'll see that Bluetooth signal go way down because it doesn't have a lot of power to transmit through anything. So 32 feet line of sight. That means if you're going from, say, one room to the other, forget it. It's it's even less. But just making sure, I know most of us are connecting with our Healy right next to us. Great. But I just wanted to let you know all the conditions about the Bluetooth. Okay. Okay.
And I've got a battery question here. So let's see. So Chris was asking, where do we find information on the battery charging? My device is charging overnight, but the green light does not go off and will only function for about 20 minutes. And then it shows the fluttering green light, so where it blinks real fast 5 times and then turns off. Any suggestions? So one, I'd be curious to know how old the Healy device is as well, because if it's something that's 5 years old over time, even though there's many Healys that are still functioning properly, it is possible that the battery life has just depleted, or the ability to charge is kind of not as great as it used to be. But also wondering if you've gone through the hard reset process. There's a process where you can also do a quick hardware reset. We have some great videos on that actually on our YouTube channel that we just show. There's a Healy Shorts video that Henry made that was awesome. It shows basically if your Healy's not plugged in and you just hold that power button down for around 10 seconds while it's off, the green light will then come on, and then you let go of the button, does a quick reset. Or when it's plugged in, like you mentioned, if it's charging and that green light comes on when it's plugged in, if you hold that power button down again around 10-15 seconds, you'll see that green light. It'll go from kind of dim to a little bit brighter after around 10 to 15 seconds, and that resets it. And then you want to let it charge fully. I know you mentioned that the light never goes off, but it'd be interesting to see if that helps at all. If you do that, say tonight, and then let it charge overnight, and then try it again tomorrow. Just keep in mind, after you do that, you need to recalibrate the battery sensor itself too. So that means a couple of charging cycles of fully depleting the battery, fully charging, fully depleting, fully charging as well, which could help. Can't guarantee it, since it's almost 3 years old. Usually Healys are still going strong, even though the warranty is 2 years. But Ken, I know you have many Healys that are older than that. I have some myself that are older than 3 years, going on 4+ years. The battery still works fine, especially. But yeah, it could be not all. It's batteries aren't 100% reliable. It is possible that something happened with it as well. But if you go through the troubleshooting and all these steps, you can also reach out to our team as well via live chat or support ticket, and they can help. And if you've gone through all the troubleshooting and it's still not working, you do have the option to buy a new one. You don't pay the full price. You pay the fee replacement price, which is $365. No matter which edition you bought, it's $365. Then you get a brand new Healy with a new 2-year warranty as well.
Yeah, and it's also the newest firmware. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's cool. All right. What else we got here? Let's see. So Maria is also saying unable to connect to Advisor or Healy 2, which is the pink. Let's see. So it downloaded the databases, but won't connect to device. So I'm assuming maybe Maria, brand new with Healy and you just loaded everything and you're having some trouble, I mean, if that's the case, that again could be an indication that we've got something going on with the server. If you're brand new, because it's got to take all that content, when you scan the serial number, it's accessing your account and then bringing the information from your account into the apps to populate the apps. If you're having a problem with the Healy 2 and the others, yeah, there might be something going on, Jake.
Yeah, Christian's following up on that as well. But if the Healy, I'm wondering though, like I understand the Analyze app, but the Healy 2 app,
Yeah, it's
that would be, it's usually not, doesn't have any real issues with the cloud or anything like that, especially if well, the databases wouldn't load unless it was already connected to the device, because the connection to the device pulls in the databases that are available to that device. So yeah, I mean, it could be something related. I would check again first thing in the morning, probably things will be back to normal if there was an issue there.
yeah, the when you first get your Healy, now I'm just curious if Maria, if you're brand new, and you're just trying to get your Healy set up, that's because that is, you load the apps on your smart device. When you open the app, it's going to have you scan the QR code on the back of the Healy, but you got to make sure the Healy's turned on, right? It's going to scan that. You turn the Healy on. It's going to bond the app with your account. Okay, because that serial number is tied to your account. And then it goes and looks at the cloud to see what your account had. In other words, it's going to look at it's going to go through some internet access port, whether it be Wi-Fi or your cellular data network, and it's going to go and connect and then pull down whatever features your edition has, and it's going to populate the app. So if it's not doing that, we got to figure out where that breakdown is happening. It's somewhere along the if your Healy's not turned on, if I don't know, if there's no internet access from your smart device, whether it be your cellular data network is weak, or if your Wi-Fi is, that connection's not great. So those are the ones that we would want to look at from the hardware side on your side. From Healy side, we can't really tell until Germany can give us some feedback. But we're seeming to have a few things here, Jake, which means if it's all happening right now, I would think there might be something going on with the database. I've tried. I'm trying to sync. I actually, while we were talking, I deleted the app, reinstalled it, shut my device off, reinstalled the app, and trying to sync again, and it's still not doing it. So I rarely have any problems with that. But I am right now. So I'm with you, folks. Of course, my Pink Dot app, the Healy 2 app works because I'm not new. I've been using it for a long time. I didn't have to load the app. I didn't have to populate the app. It's all done for me because I've already had my account set up. But if you're new, that's why I'm asking you if you're new, because that's going to happen. If the server is not accessible right now, then it's definitely going to be not working. Okay.
I want to answer. There's a couple more questions we want to get into here before we close, but there was a quick one that we can cover. It's how do you get the replacement Healy you just mentioned for that price? So if you just go to your Healy shop and go to see share. So go to your Healy shop and go to, there's a replacement section actually. You just go right to replacements. I'm not logged in right now, but if you were, you pick the Healy device 365, and then the devices that are on your account would be listed here. So you would pick one, you would pick the serial number, you pick add to cart, and oops, I didn't want to click that, and it would the whole process, it automatically deactivates the device you're replacing, transfers anything over, from that device to the new device that's going to be shipped to you as well. So it's very easy to do as well. Just, again, just go to the shop, pick the replacements category, and then go from there if you need to purchase a replacement.
So Jake, Maria's saying, coming back to saying that, again, we're talking about the Healy 2 app and the troubles in connecting to the Bluetooth, or actually anyone. If she's saying that she turns the Bluetooth function off in the app. So one thing I want you folks to remember, that if you load everything on your app, you turn on a program, right? Or you go and load a program, and then you turn the Bluetooth off from the app. When you do that, great. The Bluetooth is off. The program will run just fine without it. But in order to turn the Bluetooth back on, you actually have to press the power button twice on the hardware. Otherwise, you will not be able to connect through the Bluetooth again, because that shuts off the Bluetooth chip in the Healy itself, and it won't come back on. And so even if you close the app and open the app back up, and you go to try to load a different program to the Healy, you turn the Healy on, the only thing that's going to do is run the last program that was on the Healy, that was loaded on the Healy. That's all it'll do. It won't connect until you press the power button twice, quickly together, press, and that resets the Bluetooth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be why it's not connecting for you. So Chris is asking, are those instructions written anywhere? Oh, probably talking about the battery reset. That's written somewhere.
Yeah, actually,
I'm wondering if Kristen put it in here.
I'm going to share a link. Let's see. Let me pull it up on our YouTube channel. Just a second. Oh, here. Let me find this again.
Okay. Are we caught up? Let's see. How long does it take to fully charge the battery? Is there an indicator of battery level? So typically about 90 minutes, hour and a half or so, something like that. Yes, there is a battery indicator in the apps themselves. Of course, there's no connection wire-wise between the Healy and the app. It's all done Bluetooth. So when you first connect to the Healy with the app then gives you a battery life or a battery indicator on it. So yeah, and so it should take about 90 minutes. I know we've had someone here in the audience talked about it, charging it all night, and it's not charged. And the way that we can tell that it's charged is because the green light goes off. Okay, so you plug it in, green light comes on. When it's done charging, the green light goes off. One of the things that we didn't mention about the potential for that elongated green light on or never going off is the AC to DC adapter that your USB cord's plugged into, the little charging block. Those little charging blocks, if they're very low current output, could take a very long time, or maybe not get you to full charge anyway. It could be something going on with that. I always recommend at least a 2000 milliamp or 2 amp charging block. Those are great. Make sure that you plug that into there, have a good USB cord that comes from the charging block to the Healy itself, and those are just the micro USB. They're pretty much universal. It doesn't have to be the one that came with your Healy, but make sure it's a good one. And yeah, they should charge in about an hour and a half. Okay, Wanda's asking, how do we get back onto this Tech Tip Tuesday site next week? Great question, by the way. If you're part of the Telegram group, it's always posted in there. Jake or myself will get that link posted in there. It's also on the events page for the virtual events. So every Tuesday, when the call comes on, it's on there. So hopefully you're connected to our Telegram group. That's the Team Healy USA Telegram group, or at least you have the calendar. Let's see that link.
Yeah, and I know we only have like 2 minutes here. Can you see my screen?
There's a screen. Yep.
The
I see
Healy
the one
shop?
about buying a new replacement.
Yeah. Oh, second.
It was the page about buying a new replacement.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, there was a question here about the differences. Clueless about the differences between the Healy and Mag Healy. I know we only have a minute left, but if you go to our Healy shop, us.healy.shop, and click on the chatbot window in the bottom right. This is our Harmony chatbot. It's our virtual assistant. It's available 24/7. And you can type in questions like anything you want to know, like the science behind the differences between editions. I typed in, give me a detailed overview of the differences between the Healy versus Mag Healy, and what are the benefits of each. And it gave me a nice summary of how it works, the benefits of Healy versus Mag Healy as well. Just keep in mind that resource is available. Of course, we love it when you come and ask the questions live on Tech Tip Tuesday, but this is also available. And then going forward, also, if this was during business hours and the Harmony couldn't answer the question for you, it would transfer you over to one of our live agents to continue the chat session. Or if it's after hours, like right now, and this question was unresolved, it actually creates a support ticket for you. So there's no need to go to the support center to submit a support ticket, because either Harmony is going to answer your question, it'll transfer you to a live agent, or it'll create a support ticket. So everything's covered right within this chat window here as well. Just wanted to point that out for anyone that kind of still getting up to speed here at Healy.
So Wanda, I just added the link here to the Telegram group for you. Right there's a reply to your "Can you add me?" To the Telegram group. Yes, you can actually click on that link, and it should take you over to our group, and you should be able to add yourself. So yeah, so welcome yourself into that. Hopefully we'll see you there. But yes, all of those will be there. All the links to that, as well as the Healy Solution series, which was just before this call. Those are there. So anybody else that's on the call right here that's not on that group, that link will get you in there if you wish. And by the way, if you want to save this chat, everybody, up there at the top of the chat window where it says Healy Tech Tip Tuesday, there's 3 little dots. If you're on your laptop or your PC, you click on those 3 little dots. And at the end of this call, when we get off the call, don't close your computer, don't close your Zoom. There'll be a little link there that says Save Chat. Okay, and you can keep that file. All these links will be in there, all that good stuff. Does that sound good?
And Ken, last thing for today, I know we had a lot of newer people on the call that haven't been on Tech Tip Tuesdays in a while, or maybe even for the first time. So very happy we're able to assist. But we've talked about this. We're going to make a schedule change starting in June. We're going to, sort of making Tech Tip Tuesday or promoting it as more of a global resource. And right now, when we do this call, Tech Tip Tuesday is going global. Even though I know we do have some people from other regions as well that do join already, but the time, 8 p.m. Eastern, is 2 a.m. in Germany, which isn't very convenient for anyone in the Europe region to join Tech Tip Tuesday. So for the month of June, each Tuesday in June, we're going to try out doing Tech Tip Tuesday earlier in the day. So I know it might not be as convenient for some people, or maybe it's more convenient for other people, but we're going to be doing this at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. CET, which is the time in Germany as well, to try to give more people globally a chance to join and ask questions and try out Tech Tip Tuesday. And I know for those of you that are only available in the evenings here, I know it's probably disappointing as well, but just keep in mind, yes, we like to join you live, but also you are able to, as I showed earlier, review the recordings on our YouTube channel. Every single question hyperlinked as well. But again, as part of the bigger goal to get more people involved in Tech Tip Tuesday on a global basis, we're going to try out this new time for the month of June. And if we need to adjust it, we'll adjust it again later on. But I hope everyone can still attend at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. But if not, send us some questions, and we'll still try to answer them live on the air for you to take a look at later. We appreciate everyone that does join, and we want to again expand this to as big as a possible resource for everybody.
I love it. I'm ready to go global, Jake. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So hopefully everybody, I mean, if you didn't get your questions here, join us next week in our new time and give us a shot. See how we do. All right. All right, you guys. See, Dory's asking, how do we send you questions?
That's a good point. I don't have anything exact right now, but maybe we can put together some sort of like Tech Tip Tuesday submission line where you can put in questions you want to see answered live on there. Let us think about that for a little bit.
Yeah, that would be great. That might open the door for even more people to, and we could bring them live on here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Great idea, Doran. Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Thank you. Save the chat, click those 3 little dots. And we will see you again next week. A new time, same place, new time.
Yeah.
All right,
Same
Jake.
link, everything else. So yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. We'll see you guys next time. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Bye.